What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jam Movies, and today we're talking about an awesome war movie that I don't think it gets enough credit, Fury. So, Johnny, let's get into the budget. As always, starting first, what was that budget on this movie?
The budget was, I believe, $64 million, if I'm not mistaken. The first opening weekend was $24 million, and I can't remember, what did they gross?
I think it was $2,012 million overall. I mean, it's not the best opening weekend, but they definitely made their money back and then some, right? And you know, it deserves it. It's a really good movie. In the sense of, you know, we're talking about war movies here. There's not too many movies that are like this war based. You got your, you know, World War II movies about, you know, like Saving Private Ryan and, you know, stuff like that. But this is like kind of taken from a different aspect, right? Now we're talking about just men in tanks, right? And I didn't know too much about that until I watched this movie. So that was interesting to see.
Yeah, it gave you a sense of what their daily tasks were, how many people needed to run a tank if you didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you an explanation of what each person's done or doing, what they are dependent on, and who leads the whole crew of the tank.
Well, no, I was going to say, you know, before I watched this movie, you know, you have this image of how how operations of a tank would work, and to say that, you know, it's just a guy sitting in there pushing a bunch of buttons. Well, now I know otherwise, right? Like, this is a complex setup, and you need an important crew in this in this tank. You need to be able to trust these guys, and everybody's got their own job, right?
David Ayer, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. He did tons of great movies. This one got 8 awards, 23 nominations. What are some of your favorite movies that he made?
You know what? So David Ayer, you know, they say he's hit and miss. I can only think of one movie that I didn't really like from him, which was Birds of Prey. Not a fan of it. But the movies that I did enjoy were quite a few of them. Training Day, awesome movie. That speaks for itself. Did I enjoy Suicide Squad? Yeah, it was good. I mean, not my favorite movie. There was a lot of problems with it, but it was still enjoyable. One movie I will say, actually, 2 movies I will say that were, I think, underrated, in my opinion, one was Bright, and I thought that was a super cool concept, right? Original. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope they release that on physical media eventually, because I would like to pick it up, preferably in a steelbook, right? Yeah. But that movie was definitely underrated for me. I really enjoyed that movie. I liked his direction in that as well. And The Tax Collector. I don't think The Tax Collector gets enough credit.
I agree.
And, you know, and you can see he likes to work with Shia LaBeouf, you know, Fury and Tax Collector. So, yeah, no, he's a really good director.
Yeah, you have the steelbook just right behind
you.
Yeah,
I do, actually, yeah. I got actually quite a few of his movies, so yeah, I guess you could say I do enjoy his direction. But actors, again, too, we're not just the director in this movie, but the actors as well did a phenomenal job.
Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, go ahead and take this.
Everyone played the role in the tank perfectly. Wardaddy, Brad Pitt, being the commander. So whatever he says goes. He's the eyes. He helps out the gunner, which was Gordo. Gordo's job was to drive the tank, repair the tank if need be, and Kunas, he was the loader. So make sure all the guns were all loaded, ammunition was ready. Also repairs of the tank, and then there was Bible. He was the missile shooter. I don't know the gunner. That's what he was called.
Shia LaBeouf's character. Yeah.
So he was the gunner, and he played that part amazingly. Let me say that first off. But the other one was Norm. He was the assistant gunner. So he was assistant driver and assistant shooter as well. And to be cross-trained in any position, to be refilled if need be, especially in battle. Yeah. So all the actors, I believe, did an amazing job in their roles, and took pride in their roles. But what do you think about the actors?
Well, you know what? Like again, to them spending so much time together in that tank, right? And even they said, like, they started to develop that relationship with each other, and it showed on screen because the chemistry was there. Brad Pitt played an awesome leader. You believed, all these guys looked up to him, and you believed that, and he had that characteristic about him. Shia LaBeouf, he really pushed that Bible stuff on people, whatever, right? He really preached it, and it was believable. And actually, I'm going to go back to Shia LaBeouf in a little bit because there's something funny I'm going to mention. Michael Penne, awesome job again too. All the chemistry in the tank was done really well. They couldn't have. I don't think they could have picked better actors to work together the way they did, except for I read somewhere, seen something. Apparently, Brad Pitt wasn't a big fan of Shia LaBeouf.
Really?
Yeah, but that was because he's like more of like a method actor, and he wasn't showering.
Oh.
Because they wouldn't shower in these tanks. They'd be out for months on ends or whatever. Apparently, he stunk up the tank. Yeah, so I mean the other actors weren't happy either, but Brad Pitt apparently was really irritated and did not enjoy working with him at all, right? Yeah. So I mean I wouldn't enjoy that either if somebody smelled that bad. But yeah.
So let's talk about the tank. So the German tank was a Tiger 131, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Super heavy duty tank. It could take on 5 of the Sherman tanks, M4 I believe, and they were just absolute units. And the Sherman tank would take, I believe it was like a minute to do a full 360 spin, while the Tiger was a lot less time, so it had a lot more time to shoot and blow up the tank, which was actually built less durable. And talking about the tank, it's small, it's compact, so I believe the number was they made a replica of inside the tank that was 10% bigger than it actually was in real life. And I thought it was cool how they took so much pride into making it that they did that as well. On the outside, they made it so there was windows that you could move to get every different angle of inside the tank you'd like as well, which they displayed great views in doing that. Even like the lights in the periscope, sorry, it was actually LED lights to make it shine so it looked like it was actually daytime outside.
Yeah, so they took some care into, producing these tanks, right? And yeah, it did show. Every time they had a shot in the tank, I felt like I was in there with those guys, which that's what a movie's supposed to draw you in. It's supposed to bring you into that world, right? So for that being said, awesome job with the tanks on a movie that's about tanks is very important. And then that brings me actually to my favorite part, which would be right at the end, the final act when they're in the tank, final showdown. It's just stay alive or hope to stay alive, right?
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed that part. What was your favorite part of the movie?
Okay, so it was the time where I believe it was 4 of the tanks still at the time. So they went to go attack other tanks and bring soldiers with them as well. And it was a Tiger that they were facing. And the Tiger destroyed the other 3 tanks and left Fury still alive. So Bible went for the first shot and missed it. So Wardaddy, Brad Pitt, took charge and said, "Let me take this next shot. You, as soon as I give you the word, you shoot." And then he goes to Gordo and's like, "When I tell you, I believe it was hard left. You steer hard left." And he was showing his position as commander to a perfection there, where he timed it and timed the shot, and he got hit twice. So like it was just great, and I loved how he just did it perfectly, that scene, like to show what a commander does.
No. I mean, there's many good scenes in this movie. How many we can actually pick up? I mean, it would take us time.
Actually, I want to say another scene. It's not really an amazing scene, but if you like stunts, the one scene where the guy got shot with I forget what the RPG was called, but it was when they were traveling and he got shot, and Norm didn't shoot the guy with the RPG. He got caught up in flames, went over the truck, and shot himself. That was actually done with real effects. The guy was fully coated, like I think he had 3 layers of protection, put on a mask and then had like 2 coats, I believe, on his mask. And they did it, I believe, 3 times. Lit him up on fire. He fell off.
They lit him on fire 3 times?
Yes. His whole body was like inflamed. Wow. And they had firefighters there, paramedics and everything. And like I want to bring up the locations too before we talk about just the ending of the movie. But the location was in UK. That's how they got all these amazing tanks, and they had the Tiger 131, which was, I believe, the only running one out of the dozen. I believe there's a dozen of them still around. And it was on 2 army fields in the UK that they filmed on as well. But yeah, like they took pride in location, tanks. Some of the guns were actually real. I believe it was 80 of the guns were actually real guns. Even Wardaddy, he had custom guns where they were cleared handles with what I believe was his wife on the inside to show like he has his wife with him all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So, what's your thoughts on the ending?
So the ending's my favorite scene. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the fact that everybody died except for the new guy. Mm-hmm. But again, too, these guys were willing to die, for what they believed in, which was life in the tank. And, of course they pretended like they didn't like what they did, but they loved what they did. Yeah. They loved each other. There was that brotherhood there. They all died together. They all died doing what they loved. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's something to be cheerful, I guess you could say, about. But I guess I would have liked to see some of my more favorite characters survive. But
I agree.
Fitting ending, awesome movie from start to finish, and the ending it was phenomenal. It is my favorite scene.
Yeah.
How about you?
I can't say anything you haven't said, to be completely honest. I wish a couple more survived, like you said. But what would you rate this on the Jammeter?
Who are breaking out? I say the jar on this one is, I'm going to go with an 85.
85?
Yeah, it's one of the more original war movies that I've seen in a while. Like I said before, usually you get the same old, Battlefield, World War II, or kind of like a drama piece. This was more of action-based, had some drama, but we got to see what it was like to be in a tank at that time, and I didn't realize how important it actually was. Mm-hmm. What would you give it on the Jammeter here?
I would say an 85 too. Close to All Silent on Western Front. I definitely or All Quiet. Sorry, I always make that mistake. But I'd suggest it if you haven't seen it. That's a close one to this, but an 85, maybe even a 9. 85 to a 90, and. Yeah, it was just an amazing movie all around. Some of the scenes I noticed that were a little bit on the cheesy side. But I have no complaints, really. The money was placed well. The attention to detail was there. So I have nothing to complain about.
So thanks, guys, for joining us on our discussion of Fury. We sure enjoyed this movie. We enjoyed talking about it. If you haven't seen it, I suggest watching it. It's definitely a different take on a war movie. And if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for jamming with us.